Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 12 Faces of Sober Speaks podcast, season 2, episode 44. Today's guest, let me just give you a real good breakdown of this brother. I met him on Instagram in the sober community, and let me tell you, his posts are very motivating. It's always something working out, something that I need to really put my focus into, but I got a lot of injuries, but I try my best. And this brother has definitely, I consider him a friend, even though we've never met, because he knows when to reach out, and it's random, and it's always when I need it. And he'll hit me with, "Hey man, how you doing? Have a good weekend. Have a good day. Hope all is well." And it's simple messages like that in the sober and recovery community that you need, because we all have bad days, bad moments, or family issue, work issue, or just a life issue. And these are the type of people that you need to have in your life in the sober community, especially if you are away from your friends, away from your family, or you just don't really like dealing with people like that. Like myself, I keep to myself, because I don't really know too many people here in Florida like that. But Chris is out in Hawaii, so definitely a time difference. But like I said, I do appreciate the fact that he took time out of his busy schedule to bless 12 Faces of Sober with some gems and some workout tips, because he definitely gonna bless you guys with that as well. And before we get into the interview, I want to do some house cleaning. 12facesofsober.com. You can check out pictures of my journey, especially just some of the accomplishments or achievements that I have done through this last 5 years and 5 months of my sobriety. And I've also thrown in a few retro pics of how life was when I was drinking, just to let you know that that I didn't just wake up one day sober and life was just good. So like I said, 12facessober.com. You can also get a signed copy of my book. It's $20. You can also click on the shop now or merchandise tab, and you can get t-shirts, hoodies. I have coffee mugs and a host of other things. And we'd love to support, like I said, 12facessober.com. If you don't want a signed copy, you can jump on Amazon. You can download the ebook. I believe the ebook might be free, or at least the cheapest is 99 cents. Or you can get just a copy of the book without it being signed. I might, change it to a hardcover. I haven't done that yet, but that's in the future. The other two things I want to mention is that I have my my children's book is complete. I am in talks with a publishing company as well as an illustrator. The only thing I need is the images of my neighborhood in National City, California. So if you're my next door neighbor, old one, please send me the picture so I can get this book out there. And the Army book is almost, I ain't gonna say almost complete, but it will be done at least by June, because I want to release the book again as 12 Faces Sober on my birthday, which is August 2nd. So that is the goal, to have both of those complete, and then we can push it out. But like I said, other than that, like I said, 12 Faces Sober is on YouTube. I'm trying to expand it to a couple other streaming platforms, because I've been getting amazing response, and I want to try as many different things as I can to get the 12 Faces of Sober message and guest opinions on there to be able to help other people. But enough of me talking. Chris, welcome to 12 Faces Sober Speaks podcast. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the interview.
What's up, y'all? Ken, thank you for hosting this platform. My name is Chris, recovering alcoholic addict. My sobriety date is November 29, 2019. I got 2 years and some change, and a whole bunch of life to be living. I'm so grateful for platforms like this, where I get to share my experience, strength, and hope, and connect with folks like yourself and people that you encounter. So, it's a blessing. Like you said, we did link up on social media. I'm always in search for Black folks in recovery. That's what I do,
Most
and
definitely.
and other people, but I really like to connect. I got a home group out here called the Black Experience, which a whole bunch of minorities and other folks who get to show we do actually recover. I guess that was my biggest fear, not understanding that it's not just some generational trauma that we live in. We actually do get well, and live a better life without drinking, smoking, and drugging. So, um, that's the journey has been very, very interesting. Ups and downs, not everything's a pink cloud. I always say this: you live life on life's terms, and this is definitely a spiritual lifestyle. I don't care what you believe in, Jah, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is, I think the most important part is finding some spirituality, getting connected, and connecting with other folks. That's me, straight up. I love connecting with folks. My grand sponsor told me, if you're gonna change one thing, let that one thing be everything. And my friends, we got a history, but I had to let some go.
Mhm.
Places that I would go, had to let that go. Even the whole idea and mindset of how I perceive the world had to change. So,
Mhm.
I love it, man. I got so many numbers of sober people, or
Mm.
people in recovery, or people in search for recovery who are sober curious. You know what I mean? I think that's what helps me drastically. Is the connection with others. I got mad numbers, and what I try to do is plug in some way, somehow. I think, my biggest fear before was not being able to be open and transparent with other people. I used to live in this false reality of like what I wanted others to see or perceive me as. So I like hid who I kind of was, and sometimes that like guilt and shame kind of was on me and kind of made me like resentful. I'm not sure
Mm.
if that makes sense, but just keeping in touch with people who, like you said, man, a quick text. That's some shit that I want, a text, a call, a message on Instagram, a shared video. And it doesn't even always have to be sobriety talk. It could be some comedy. It could be some, hey, look at this old picture. Hey, look, how's your sports team?
Mhm.
Just a basic conversation. Shit, we are human. We just,
Right.
we suffer from a disease that I really feel like addled our mind and emotions, and how, you know, we go on daily life, but yeah.
So how, okay, now you mentioned your recovery date is November 29th of 2019. Now, how long were you out there struggling? How long were you out there, doing what you were doing to where you got to the point where you're like, okay, enough is enough? Was that a decision you made yourself, or was that a decision that was made forcefully, family, or
um,
friends or something like that? What was going on?
so I kind of struggled. I've always been a kid of like, or always been a person of like isms, since I was younger. I've always, you know what I mean? Like the drugs and alcohol was just like a symptom of how I could, you know, how do you say, like deal with shit. But, you know, I've always been a person who has like an addictive personality,
Mhm.
I say this all the time. Like my mom would buy a box of Lucky Charms. I would sit there and eat all the marshmallows out of it and, put it back. Or if she told me not to touch the candy that's, saved for Halloween, that bag would be gone. Like just
Yeah.
anything. And it's not just using stuff. It's also like the mindset of how I thought. But I really struggled. My alcoholism and my addiction really kind of just gradually grew, man. It was a progressive disease, man. Like it just slowly from young ages of like, I started experimenting with stuff probably like around 10, 11, and it just slowly got worse. You know, each chapter of my life, I started experimenting with different stuff, and you know, it got to a place where I pushed my family away. You know, me and my wife, we've been together since high school. We have 3 kids, and you know, it got to a place where she couldn't take it. You know, I was a liar. I was a manipulator. I was, you know, I wasn't physically abusive. I wasn't verbally abusive, but I definitely was like emotionally abusive. Where, you know, I would put so much stuff on her to where, you know, it kind of just, you know, that's not what you do to people, especially not to a significant other. So we basically separated, and I kind of like really went wild. I attempted to get sober, you know. Let me say this: I always wanted to get sober, but at my expense, like, you know, let it work for me, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna try it this way, you know. Maybe just a 6-pack, or maybe just a 25 ounce, or maybe I'll just drink on the weekends, or hey, you know, I don't I don't do drugs like that, you know, like I'm not that bad, you know, I don't drink out of a paper bag, or hey, you know, I do my drugs this way, not like them, you know. So I always had this perception of how a person with alcoholism or addiction looked, but really, shit, we come in all different kind of forms, you know. Um, you know, I just really needed like a checkup from the neck up, and it took me, and I came. It wasn't court ordered. It wasn't, you know, like, because I got in so much trouble, but I was just tired, man. To be honest with you, like I was so tired. Like I was emotionally empty. I was spiritually empty. I was financially empty. You know, I was like literally living in like a trap house, basically, with a couple buddies, and I, you know, I didn't want to die, but I didn't know any other way, honestly, to get out of this helpless state of mind. Like I could not stop using drugs, and I could not stop drinking, like, honestly. And I tried everything. I did like yoga. I tried to work out. I tried to, you know, read things on the internet. You know, I called a hotline one time and was like, hey man, you know, I'm not a drug addict, but you know, I do have an issue. He's like, when's the last time you used? I was like, oh well, I'm kind of high right now. But he's like, well, okay, you got a problem, you know. So like I always wanted, I had this I had this perception of how I wanted to be, but I never lived up to it. And, you know, I guess finding sobriety and working on my recovery kind of actually helps me live that lifestyle I always wanted to be, if that makes sense. Like my wife used to always, she's like, oh, you finna to do this, you finna to do that. I'm gonna call you Chris finna to do nothing. And, you know, like straight up, I didn't. Like, yeah, I got a business. You know, everybody's bottom looks different, but you know, I got a business. I had the wife, I had the picket fence, I had the kids, all that shit. But I was just so like empty, man, if that makes sense. You know, like so yeah, I was out there for a while. Let's say like a good 15 years just running wild of reckless activity. And it took me a good 10 months of crash course living to really crawl myself up in the rooms. I found sobriety in Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, even though, you know, I felt I was an addict, but I just needed I needed a way of living. I needed a different way. So I crawled up in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and fell deep into a 12-step program. And I live a lifestyle based off 12 steps and tradition. So, yep.
And then you mentioned something that that stood out It seems to be around the same time as a lot of people that's been on the podcast in terms of when the age where you started to experiment. Because I started, well, the first time I got drunk, I was 12, but that wasn't the first time I had a drink. But that was the first time where I felt the alcohol. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Instead of like, just sneaking, because like my dad, he was in the Navy. So whenever he would go, overseas, he would come back with all these, things from Kenya, and, just Philippines, Japan, he would have all these crazy bottles. And then like, it was souvenirs to him. But for me, it was like, okay, it's some crazy bottle. Let me try it. I don't even remember what it was, but I know the stuff was nasty, but I still tried it. Now, were you raised in Hawaii, or were you raised in, huh?
No, so I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm from Los Angeles. I was born in Indianapolis when I was, and then from ages 2 to about 13, 14, I was raised in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And my mom was single mother. She had when I was younger, she had like a boyfriend here and there. My dad suffered from alcoholism and drug addiction, so I didn't fall far from the tree.
Okay.
But in my mind, I was like, I'm not gonna be like him. He's this way. I'm not like that. But I was born in Indianapolis, raised in Los Angeles, and had like my teen and adolescent and adulthood in Hawaii. So I moved here in like 2002,
Okay.
2003, 2002. Yeah, 2002 going on '03. And for me, like you said, I would. So like my first time drinking, I like sip stuff when I was little. Like when I was
Mhm.
like little, like I would see my dad like have some stuff, and I would like sip a beer, and like thought it was all fun and games when they partying. And then as I got older, I had a buddy whose parents, he's Egyptian family, and he had like all this kind of liquor. So we used to like make weird little jungle juices and stuff, and
Mhm.
just play around,
Mhm.
And then um I was always like insecure to a certain extent, like, from so I went to as a kid, I was always like mostly like the only black kid in most situations, besides being around my family, whatnot. If I when I went from elementary school, I went to like a Japanese immersion school where there
Mhm.
was like barely any black kids there. So I was always looking for acceptance and trying to fit in. Then I moved to Hawaii. And same thing, trying to fit in, um, and fitting in, and feeling like comfortable in the uncomfortable was like getting intoxicated. So like
Mhm.
in high school, um, I played football. I was a good football player, but I was also a good stoner and a good
Mhm.
drunk. You know what I mean? So we would ball out, and then I found out, oh, the fun activity, hanging out and cooling with the cool cats, I can drink. And
Mhm.
let me say this, I had a little bit more of a mature look at a younger age, so I could tap shoulder, or I can go buy beer at this one little corner store. So that was like
Mhm.
that was my way in. Oh, I'll bring all the liquor to the party. I'm the cool cat. So um just experimenting with different socializing stuff like weed and alcohol was my younger days. But then I progressively started testing other things out, like
Mhm.
the coke and ecstasy, and just trying other stuff. But yeah, again, it progressed, and got my ass here on the podcast talking about sobriety. So
Did
uh,
you ever have to go like do rehab? I know you said that you went to AA, so you didn't
yeah.
have to do rehab.
No, I didn't do any rehab. I tried to do outpatient. I went to this thing where I was arrogant, man. Like, I couldn't see myself in this. I wanted to go to rehab. Honestly, I wanted to go to rehab and a treatment, but I just didn't really know how to get to it.
Mm.
And even though it's easily to check in, but I was arrogant, man. You know what I mean? I didn't see myself as an alcoholic. I didn't fucking catch alcoholism until I came into the rooms and started reading a fucking big book telling me like, oh damn, like, you know, I read my life through this damn thing.
Mm.
And me sitting next to an alcoholic and him telling me, hey, what's up? You an alcoholic? I'm like, oh, I guess so, you know? So
Mhm.
but like everybody else, man, I was empty.
Mm.
I didn't know how to live life straight up. Like I barely knew how to pay bills, barely knew how to, you know, have a conversation with another person. Definitely did not have a spine. Like, you know, I was a straight up follower. Even though I had these things in life, I was a follower. I didn't have my own voice. I did
Mm.
what I felt others wanted to see. And you know, I live my life like on social media, kind of like how I do now, but I actually do what I say. Before it was all a front, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? I would try to show money, I would try to show my business looking a certain kind of way, I would try to show my family looking a certain kind of way. Like I wanted people to see all this so they didn't know I was addled by a fucking drug issue and alcoholism, you know? So um yeah, you know, I did not see, I did not get the blessed opportunity to go to rehab,
Right.
and I did not, I don't know, I didn't go to treatment or anything. Man, I wish I found out what this whole journey was a long time ago because I swear, you know, this being sober back in the day, I only thought it was for like chumps. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're corny. You know, I ain't doing that kumbaya spiritual shit. And again, like I said at the beginning, I didn't think Black folks did this, even though my father was part of Alcoholics Anonymous, and he bounced in and out. I didn't think recovery was for Black folks or
Mm.
people of color. You know, I just thought I was like, nah, man, they don't understand. You know, we go to church, or you know, we have other outlets. You know, that's not a Black issue. That's other
Mhm.
stuff. You know, so um, it was a eye awakening situation.
Mm.
Especially like I said, I have a home group called Black Experience, and when I came there, I was asked out. I came in, and I saw people so jolly, drinking coffee, eating cookies, talking sports, all this good stuff. And I walk into the room, I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all happy and you aren't you so sad and depressed? Like, look at me. Look at me. I'm tore up. Who's gonna help me? Somebody give me the special pill so I can be, you know, so you know, it was a very I want to say that was a spiritual awakening for me because I never seen anything like that, and I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think recovery was possible, you know, and it really, really was a very like an eye awakening situation, and I'm so grateful for any recovery platform. I don't care how you find it, you know. Me, I found it through AA in the 12 steps. However you find recovery, just take care of your stuff upstairs and just be nice to the next person. So
And
yeah,
I second that because I know that when I had got sober, like I said, I I don't know if I mentioned it, but I've been to 3 rehabs and 1 homeless shelter that was a front for, and I'm gonna say it, Phoenix Rescue Mission, Phoenix, Arizona, a front, you know, government money, you know, type thing, right across the street from the jail. But when I got sober this last time, I was just like as you just described it, I was afraid to, you know, pretty much post stuff on social media about my sobriety because everybody knew that Kenny was the dude that drank. Kenny was the one who would, you know what I'm saying? It was just that was my MO. The same way like all the people in the military that knew me for those 6 years, they knew that, you know, that I was the one who would be drunk and getting into some stuff.
yes,
You know,
sir.
so it definitely was a surprise. And then I think with talking to other people and they're like, you need to like start looking for people on social media that's in the sober community. I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, I honestly didn't know it existed. Now, this is back in 2017. I'm
Yeah.
like, they have a sober community. So then I started, you know, typing in the Google search. I think I started on Facebook first.
Okay.
And I started seeing the groups and I would just read. I'm like, I'm not gonna comment, I'm not gonna like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna read what I'm seeing and that'll be that. And then somebody was like, a friend of mine, she's out in Sacramento, and she told me, she was like, you need to clean up your image, and you need to, not, I know you're working on your book, change your name to your book. That'll be your screen name, and then delete all the negative political stuff that you got on your account, and then just start posting stuff sober. And so that's what I did. And then over the last year to year and a half, I would definitely say that my followers have grown, especially just by doing the sober community, being in there. But I wanted to also mention too that you're absolutely correct that I and it's not a race thing, but it kind of is we want to see people that look like us in this community.
Representation is everything.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, it's not saying that someone that don't look like us won't understand what type of struggles we went through, but it's just the more of the relatable aspect of it. And that's where sometimes it was a struggle, because when I first started, you didn't see nobody. Like, when this is the honest to goodness truth. And so within the last 6 to 9 months, if not longer, I'm like, every single person that I see that looks like us, I'm like, hey, I want to be cool with you. It don't matter. We don't have to meet. Just, let me follow you, you follow me. And then we can see, if it's something that I know of, I'm gonna tag that person or whatever it is, because it's that we need to expand. We need to grow as a family, because like you said, I mean, you think about it in the inner cities, you said you grew up in LA. So I'm already knowing how that is. It's a liquor store on all four corners. It might be a liquor store behind that liquor store. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, because we don't need to have that many liquor stores on those corners. You know what I'm saying? Because if you drive where I'm at right now, you're not going to see that on every corner. You're not going to see, liquor store here owned by this person, by that person, because they're trying to destroy us. Over somewhere here is like, you got to drive 15, 20 minutes to get to a liquor store if you don't go to a gas station. So, but yeah, so it is very key and vital that that the community continues to grow, and that we do some type of collaborations or whatever it is. And that's, to me, is was very important. And I don't, and I've been waiting for somebody to bring that up, because it's tough, because it's like, our upbringings may have been similar in certain, to a certain extent, of certain things that we may have witnessed in the cities that we grew up in, over somebody else that would have no experience. Somebody might not understand truly what a trap house is off of this, only time they might know what it is off of a rap song, but don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's key and vital. And I one thing I would definitely say is, the more, over time, I believe that, it's going to be more of a following, in terms of just more people coming out, and I'm not even speaking on a level of celebrities, even though there are some celebrities that more celebrities need to get on this side, because, just as you can write those songs about the best drugs you done smoked and the best alcohol you done drank, you could talk about how your life has been ever since you recovered from that stuff, and all the gifts and rewards that when you were in that, now you're getting tenfold, because it's like, okay, I'm not spending that same money buying those things. Now I can go invest in more property, invest in a business, or take more trips, or whatever the case may be. And that's what sometimes we forget. Like, wait a minute, man, we too busy draining our pockets, drinking and smoking, when we could be enjoying life. You know what I'm saying?
That's all I used to, honestly, like I said, I'm a strong believer in, like, you are what you eat, you know what I mean? And in the times when I was out there wild, like when I was out there wilding, like the music I listened to, the stuff I watched, the people I surrounded myself, these are all the things that I felt kept my mind trapped in this bubble of, like, oh, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be, and nothing else is better than this, because this is where I'm at,
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting loaded all day, every day, any kind of way, and like, I asked my sponsor, I was like, damn, can I listen to the same music before? He's like, well, if you're in a healthier mindset, that music is gonna mean nothing to you. And so now, like, that's why I listen, you know, to all kind of music, you know, and you know, fortunately, some of the best workout music is some hardcore trap. You know what I mean? So, I can listen to it and not be bothered.
Mhm.
I can go somewhere and not be bothered. My father just passed away, and I had to go to Indianapolis, and on that side of the family, you know, it's a lot of people know I'm in recovery, but at the same time, some folks don't. Like, I got some
Mhm.
cousins who just like, hey, cuz, come on, let's, you know, I'm like,
Don't do it.
but I didn't feel uncomfortable. So before, I would have easily tried to hang out with that family and been
Mhm.
like, "Al, man, tell me where it at, where it at. Let's hang out," you know. And I would have ignored everything. I would have been in my own feelings. And my father died, and
Mhm.
I'm the one emotionally feeling this way. Let me get loaded. But I went there, you know, and I basically placed a boundary, um, and I plugged in too. As soon as
Mhm.
at the airport, plugged into a meeting. Brought my big book with me. Um, I didn't open it, but you know what I mean. It was just that concept of like, this is what I do. This is my
Mhm.
lifestyle now. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I know this sounds cheesy or cliche, but this sobriety is like, it's like literally a wellness, not a movement. It's a way of being, but this wellness of life. Like you, I made I sent the post out. People, okay, like people forget like we didn't have all this stuff before. You know what I mean? This is literally a thing of colonialism. I'm not trying to say it like that, but alcoholism and drug usage is literally like a thing that basically is meant to take you out of reality. You
Mhm.
know, you escape it. And to get sober, you really are breaking the chains of colonialism, if that makes sense. You know what I
Right.
mean? No matter if you're Native American, you're Black, you're white, whatever it is, you get out of the concept of being trapped in that. Like, I don't know. Sobriety has helped me do the things I wanted to do. I broadened my mind. I'm open to listening. I yes, I got sober in AA again, and I follow the 12 steps and traditions. That is not everything that's about to save me. You feel
Mhm.
me? I have to open up. I exercise. I do a little bit of meditation, prayer. I still freaking like love numerology and astrology. I even have to see a damn therapist. You know what I mean?
Ain't nothing
Uh,
wrong with that. Ain't
Ain't
nothing
nothing
wrong with
wrong
that.
with that.
Yeah.
I think seeing these kind of things and doing this kind of stuff for people is something that needs to be done because we got so far away from healing and helping the mindset to where we are like, sorry,
Are you good?
we're like stuck. I got lost in the conversation. She walked in and
Oh
stuff.
no, you good? Nah, so no, there you're right. I mean, you look at it like this. I mean, and the first thing that came to mind when you said colonialism is that like when I was a youngster and I used to go to Mississippi. Both my parents are from Mississippi, and I was seeing my grandmother, my dad's side, and one of her brothers, maybe two of them, just may they both rest in peace. They were really bad alcoholics, and they would go on those benders and would be be gone for days, and everybody thinking like something didn't happen to them, and then they would just randomly pop up. And then you would have some families where they made fun of that drunk uncle, the uncle passing out, acting a fool. Oh, here come Uncle so and so. Y'all, hide the liquor, hide the bottles, and stuff like that. That's the stuff that I witnessed. And and you're absolutely correct. We're at a point in our lives where we're truly breaking the mold or the generational curse that has affected the Black community. And for us to realize that, and knowing that, okay, the life is different, but life is better. We still have issues personally that we have to handle, but now we have the ability to go handle those problems, to go to AA and hey, we need somebody, a sponsor or whatever it is. We're not afraid or ashamed to go do it, because in the other time, like, nah, like you said, that ain't the cool thing to do. Like, nah, that's some square type stuff. Nah, we not, nah, we used to, only thing we seeing is somebody drinking, somebody smoking. That's what we used to. And I was just saying that in my one of my interviews yesterday. I said this is the best feeling for me. And I turned 43 this year, and to be in my 40s, my first decade of my life that I've been sober, like, and I want to remain sober for for the remainder of my life, because like I said, all the gifts and blessings that I have received just in this 5 years is like, it's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, I love seeing it. You know what I mean? You message me, you say, look what I accomplished. Look what I'm about to do. Simple conversation of you just showing me that kind of stuff. I'm like, damn, we do recover. My man's married. My man's happy, making books. You doing the things that people like me, I ain't gonna write a book, but it inspires me to do things that breaks my mind. You know what I mean? Like you said, bro, like I was so used to seeing it. I'm so used to seeing family members loaded. I'm so used to thinking where I normalize it, where not taking care of your health or taking care of your mental, it's normal to me. And see folks, it's a beautiful thing to see it. When you send me that house, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I see you, Ken. Like, it's being made. We're doing the move. Hey, Chris, look, we moving. I'm like, damn, this shit is inspiring. That's the kind of stuff. My sponsor have an issue listening to people. I have a problem listening with authority, but I needed to calm down and, hey, take suggestions to live a better life. So when my sponsor got introduced, got introduced to my sponsor, I wanted what he had. You know what I mean? I was willing to listen and take some suggestions on, hey, you want to live a better life? Do these things. And one key thing, I said this on the homie Doug's podcast, one thing that he said to me was, he's like, look, a lot of motherfuckers want to be sober, but don't do the work to be sober. And that right there stuck with me. Like, you don't go to the gym, look at the weights, and not do nothing. You don't go to school just to sit in class and not open up the books and try to, get educated. Like, anything in life, you have to work for. And sobriety, you can stop drinking and stop whatever. But if you don't really work on it, the recovery part, being sober is easy, right? You can stop drinking, stop smoking, you can stop all that. But the recovery process is like the beautiful part of it. I don't care what you do in your recovery, because what you eat ain't about to make me shit. But in my recovery, I work on it. I go to Zoom meetings all the time. I go to physical meetings. I tap in with my other brethren. And that's one thing too, is I connect with other men. I had an issue with that. I had a major issue with, I wanted to look like a certain way with other men and other folks. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm hard. This is what I do. I'm a boss. I take care of my family. Recovering out loud and being open and transparent and being vulnerable to some weird situations that most men probably don't talk about has relieved so much anxiety and stress that I used to carry. So much shame too. I used to have shame of like certain things that happen in life, and going to meetings and people talking all this stuff. I'm like, what? Damn, you did that? Okay. Listen, like when you hear these things, it just helps you know, like, oh damn, I'm not alone in this world. Somebody's been through what I've been through, if not worse. And my share, my energy, my story can possibly help somebody else who needs to hear it. So yeah, man, like recovering out loud is everything for me
Mm.
because I did suffer in silence. And that's where social media and Instagram and my sponsor, he tell me to protect my anonymity and people of the program. And I definitely do. I don't like to really talk about like on if you look at my post, I don't really try to say like I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Like I always say I work a program, I'm part of a fellowship. Like I've
Mm.
changed the wording just so I do respect the traditions and stuff, but I do recover out loud because
Mm.
I feel like it's everything, man. So sorry if I got off topic, but
Oh no, you good? No, I mean the information you providing is perfect. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it's what's I guess the hardest part is, you know, where I guess I don't know if it's like if it's a cultural thing where we don't have we're not really taught to be expressive with our emotions and share share those things. It's something that could be traumatic that may have happened in our past, that may have stemmed certain things or not. I mean, it's just one of those, it's just kind of like taught, like you got to be tough. You're not, if you want to, don't be so, expressive. And then now it's like, okay, it's a different platform, but it's a good expression. What you're doing, you're making the workout videos, you're taking damn good pictures, you know what I'm saying? And people are seeing like, okay, I can still do these things, but I don't have to have the substance in my body and I can, like you said, recover out loud. But and I noticed too that some people they like I said, even at the beginning, because like you said in AA, they say you're not supposed to divulge information from the meetings and this and this and that, but you're doing it the right way in terms of, hey, you're a part of a organization, regardless of what that organization you guys are doing, you're a part of something that's helping you and keeping you on that path. And that truly is what it's all about. It's not about, okay, because like I told you, I don't personally go to AA on a regular basis, but I do have a sponsor. And I've had that sponsor since 2008. Now, mind you, I've only been sober since 2016. So that should tell you how long, I've had people rooting in my corner. And like I said, it doesn't matter if I can call her and we could just have a one-on-one, or I could call my therapist and have a one-on-one and let her know, because my sponsor's a lady and my therapist is a lady. But what I'm struggling with, even like with my sponsor, like my sponsor is about 84 years old, no joke. But she always knows when I am struggling. Like, and this is I can name off situations over the last year where if I'm not struggling that particular day and I get a phone call from her, within a couple of days, somehow she'll shoot me a text. And I'm just like, wow, like, how is this even possible? But, I don't know, maybe it's because like she lives like maybe I would say about a mile and a half away from my mom. So they communicate. And so she was the one who my mom referred me to her and everything. But like I said, it's all about, doing the right thing. There's nothing more, nothing less. And continue, like I said, and I stand on this when I tell you, keep reaching out, not only to me, but just reach out to as many people as you can in terms of like those impactful messages, even if it is a video that's funny, that's off subject, whatever it is, because like you said, you never know what that one message or that video or whatever it is can do to help somebody else out of that moment that they may be facing at that time.
Already. Yeah.
Mhm.
I honestly, that's probably been like the most important thing to me is the connections. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you you sponsor people, yeah, you may coach people, yeah, like what I mean. There's so many different things that people can do in a recovery. They can start a nonprofit, they can do start treatment centers, go that, but the connection with others is like, for me, hands down, the best thing. And sometimes I talked about this last night in my step study, where I may be going through something and my mind is just, boom, boom, boom. What I'm used to when I'm stressed for the past 50 or whatever, so many years I was out there, is whenever I'm stressed and I can't handle something, my mind automatically says, drink, smoke, boom, boom. That's what helped me in my times I was stressing. When that rapid fire starts going off, it's easy for me to be like, go through my phone book, boom, a quick text. Hey, what's up? You watch the game? Hey, what's up? How's this going? Pick up a line real quick. Hey, y'all, we got a little buddy group right now that we just started up, and it's like I got a couple of younger folks out here that's in a working the program, and we just got a group text. We'll shoot daily reflections. We'll say, hey, there's a meeting happening over here. Hey, throw your days up real quick, and not just that, we joan on each other, talk trash on each other. Like trying to make a brotherhood out of it, because even though I got family and I got brothers, I got sisters, I got, cousins and all that, sometimes the connection with other folks who are like on the same wavelength, that stuff right there is like so much more impactful sometimes, where it like you said, man, it can change somebody's life. So yeah, the connections is everything. And I honestly got some real brothers. I haven't met you. I don't know how tall you are. I don't know what you smell like. I don't know what shampoo you use, but I can tell you one thing. It's like, I got this connection with you that I don't have with others. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we barely know each other and you can shoot me information about your house. You can tell me, hey man, check my relationship out. Hey man, look at, like, the fact that me and you can connect on a different level. That shit is like something that most people don't have. And I'm so grateful to have relationships, friendships, and much more within the recovery world. And it's awesome, man. Honestly, it's a freaking such a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's likewise, man. It's more or less like, hey, and I told you a couple of times, I said, man, I got to check in with you a little bit more, and I meant it. It's just that, heck, man, I'm constantly moving. Like every month, man, my lady want to switch these dang places and stuff. So I gotta, go ahead and do what I gotta do till the house is ready. But
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, man. That's what it's all about. Like I'm a genuine dude. Like I'm this is who I am. There's no faking, there's no cameras, you know what I'm saying? This is me, and I realize that, I have to, before I can be, anything to anybody, I have to be honest with myself. And, so it's like, all right, well, we click instantly. And like I said, not everybody I'm like that with, you know what I'm saying, that I had, communicate with throughout this, sober journey. But I know that the messages are genuine. You know what I'm saying? You reach out, oh, shoot, okay, well, yeah, he checking on me. All right, then let me do the same. And it just be random days and random times. Like, what's happening? Shit, okay, you good? Good. All right. Keep it. And that's what it should be. You know what I'm saying? And I mean it. When I said we gonna link up, we gonna find a way to link up. And I'm not playing, because I'm, me and my lady probably, once we get this house situated, and we probably gonna be hitting that island soon. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I be trying to tell her, me, I'm trying to connect with so many folks. And one is like, I'm here, man, and I'm not really going anywhere anytime soon unless something drastic happens. But man, I'm out here, and I tell everybody, like, get on the flight. I ain't gonna say you can stay with me, but you find your nice little Airbnb somewhere, and I'll definitely show you the beauty of the island. And
I ain't been back. I ain't been back to Hawaii since I was 16, hooping in Maui.
I'm telling you, it's beautiful, and you live in a semi-island life. You're in Florida, so it's a little different. But you come out here, man, it's a beautiful place. And I'm not gonna sit here in front, like, some people Like I got a good friend. He works his program, and he had to actually leave the islands to find recovery because sometimes, like I said, some things you have to change, and some
Hmm.
people, this place can be so mentally traumatizing to where things is triggering to you to where you have to leave, and I'm very so my mother-in-law. I'm kind of bouncing around, but okay. So my mother-in-law, she has 34 years of sobriety,
Mm.
and she used to always tell me like, "Oh, I can see you." And I'm like, "Shut up!" Like, I'm drinking this beer. I got a coaster here. Oh, this is only Bud Light. She's like, "Oh, I can see you. I can see the disease slowly kicking in."
Mm.
And like I said, it is a progressive disease, man. Like I went from, I'm gonna be open. Like I went from just smoking weed a little to drinking a little to busting, you know, cracking bottles to just popping a little bit of pills to, you know, boys sitting in my closet smoking crack, scared, you know what I mean? So like the thing is a progressive disease, and I'm bouncing around. I'm just, it's like just you're not alone. If you like listen to this, like just know like you're not alone. Find some way somehow to get connected with another alcoholic. Like it when you work it, it works, man. I'm telling you, like, and
Oh.
the journey is beautiful. And when I say this, it's like, don't think you get sober and like, oh, the colors look different, life is different, but now you get to face it, like
Face
straight
those
up.
problems. You ain't gotta. You're not hiding behind the drug or alcohol. It's like you address those issues, try to sleep it off and wake up, but those problems are gonna still be there. But at least you don't have the substance in your system that's gonna hold you back from whatever addressing those issues. Even you mentioned about not learning how to pay bills and stuff like that. Now you sober, it's like, okay, these bills is here. Am I gonna pay these bills? Now you
Yeah.
can't put that stuff off no more because you're not putting that money towards the other stuff. And now you can put that money into the bill, save, stack, do whatever you got to do with it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and
So
that's what I'm feeling now. That's what's honestly
mhm.
catching up to me. Like, I got a moving company, and I've had it for about 7 years. And when I started it, I was like in the midst of everything. Like I was in the midst of emotional breakdown. I was in the midst of, financial insecurities. Like I was like, when I started the company, I was already a hectic piece of something. And so, boom, it takes off. Bam, bam, bam. Everything that's happening with the business. I'm super unorganized with it.
Mm.
In the midst of it, my addiction gets out of hand, my alcoholism gets out of hand, my relationship gets out of hand, everything. And I'm still trying to run the business. I'm not paying my taxes on time. I'm not doing nothing on how you're supposed to run a business, right? I get sober. I still got that ball of chaos still happening. And this is honestly like the only way I know how to financially get by, like, oh, I'll fix it this way. I'll do this way. Like, I'm not really addressing it. My girl said this, and my sponsor said this. I made amends to many other things, but I did not make amends to my financial mess ups.
Mm.
And that's what's hitting me now.
Mm.
2.5 years in of sobriety, and somebody said this is like the wave that you, because like the first year you're like, damn, how do I stop this, blah blah blah, how do I, second year, you start creating habit, and then going into that year three, that's when you're like, oh damn, okay, all this is like boom boom. And that's honestly what I'm feeling right now. And I'm also at a place like, I'm like, damn, what am I trying to do with myself,
Mhm.
um I love my work of what I used to do, but it causes so much triggering emotional stuff where I'm like, I ain't trying to do it, like, and I have pride of my business, so it's like I've been posting a lot right recently, saying like, oh, I'm going through change. I'm trying to find something, So that's what it is. I'm accepting that I have to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, which is change, because nobody likes change. And that's where I'm at right now, is I'm trying to adjust to this and let go of my ego and be accepting to whatever God's leading me to. So yeah,
You definitely on the right path, bro. I mean,
uh,
it's I like how you broke it down by year, because I didn't do that. Now that you say that, I'm sitting and running through my mind like, okay, first year I was this way, and so now I understand. Like, I guess for me, and I'll share this, and I ain't gonna go all into detail, but I know that like when that first year, you know, not in a bad way, but I had my fun when it came to women, because it was like, okay, I just got out of a marriage. I, not so much that I missed her, but it was like the companionship of having a woman. And then I was like, nah, I can't deal with these situations because I need to work on myself. And so I think that first year I kind of was, kind of dated a couple women, and I was like, nah, this ain't for me. Not right now. I need to work on my health, work on me, because when I was drinking, I was ignoring all this stuff. I found out I had diabetes, high blood pressure, all these health conditions that now I don't even have. But
okay.
it took a while. It took a while to get all that alcohol out my system, start being, active again, being outside, except when I was in Minnesota in the wintertime, but, appreciating a lot of different things. And I would definitely say that it took a lot to come to Florida, because I didn't know anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I was born in Jacksonville, 1979, and I left in 79. And I didn't come back until 2019. So it was like, yeah. So it was like I took a chance. Like, I met my lady. I ain't gonna lie. I don't have a problem with admitting it. I met my lady on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, look, I want a whole new change of scenery. And I want to know that I can make it without my family being around. And this was like that true test. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. What I'm saying, that the people that I was around, they drink, and I'm like, nah, man, like, I can't really hang around like that. So it got to a point where it's like, okay, let's invite them over to my place. Why? Because they can't drink in my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, the more I would go over there to their place, I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna just chill at the house. Oh, I'm gonna come over there. Okay, you can come through, but you ain't gonna have no, you know what I'm saying? So they know, maybe I shouldn't come over to Kenny's place. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't do what they want to do. But and that's what it is, man. Is in this sobriety thing, like, or the recovery process, I believe that everybody has their own program, but it has some similarities to it, but it's just more or less of, how much do you want it, and how much are you going to fight for it to continue to maintain it, and that's what I've had to realize. I've had, like I said, I lost my grandmother, and my condolences to you, again, you're losing your pops and stuff. But I lost my grandmother, I think it's now almost 2 years, and I couldn't even go to the funeral. And I was like, and I am like a spitting image of my father. And so every time she would see me, it was like, okay, every year of my life, she was basically reliving seeing her son. And so that's how close it was. And to me, it was like, it hurt me that she passed away and I couldn't go to the funeral. But the one thing that I can honestly say that happened is that she saw me sober. And that's where it was like, I'm at peace. Yes, I was mad and pissed off at that situation of not being able to go to the funeral, but I knew that that I was at peace with that, because I was able to see my grandmother in 2017. And despite the fact she passed away, I believe in 2020, but I was okay with it. I was okay because I felt in my heart, like, you know what? She saw, and I surprised her too. So that to me was like the ultimate. I popped up on her because my family lives not too far from Mississippi State. And so it was like, I would, I bought the plane ticket, everything, and she was in a nursing home at the time. So one day I just walked up in a nursing home and she's like, "What you doing here?" And I was like, "Hey, but it was that to me was like, I could check that off the box. Is that my grandmother was able to see me sober, and that she was able to live to see that, because my dad, like I said, he numerous times that he would, hop on the plane, be drunk as hell, fly from San Diego to Mississippi. Just we out here struggling, but he would spend $400-500 on a plane ticket to go to Mississippi. So for me to get, like I said, to fix myself before she passed, it was like, okay, I'm on the right track, and I know that she's watching over me on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But look, I ain't gonna hold you up. I got one thing I want you to do before we conclude. Now, you've touched on some really good gems, and what is it that you can, what message can you, leave the audience, that can that can potentially help them, advice, a couple gems or whatever it is, because like I said, that, people are watching, and people want to know, and that's why, like I said, I don't want to get on here and just speak every single day myself. I want others to be able to share their story, and then, like I said, we pull it together as far as, similarities. But like I said, what can you, what can you leave us with?
Just you get out what you put in, and whatever, and that's every avenue of life. Like your career that you choose, the exercises you do, the food that you eat, the way you work your recovery, the way you work your program. You get what you put out. And there's plenty of times I've heard of dry drunks and all that kind of stuff, and just love yourself no matter what. Just be the better version of what you were yesterday. Like, straight up. Like, there's times where I overthink things and I'm like, damn, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But as long as I do one task that's been lingering on my mind, and I do something better than I did yesterday, I always feel a sense of accomplishment. So, like, if I'm gonna leave you one thing, is just work work hard, man. I ain't gonna say like Kim Kardashian and shit, but
Nah, yeah, don't.
But
You can't follow it. Yeah, follow that motto.
Yeah, just work. Honestly, work, because it's worth it, man. Sobriety is a change of generational trauma, and be the change. Even though change is uncomfortable, it gets better. You know what I mean? They say this too shall pass. You know what I mean? Like, even if you have bad times, that is gonna pass. There's always an expiration date on certain things. So, not certain things. There's always an expiration date. Shit. And we, straight up, it's not always jolly happiness, sparkling rainbows and pink clouds. We're living life now, and you're doing it in a better mind state. You're doing it with a better perspective and with a different energy. Let me say this, my bad.
Yeah.
Protect your energy. Your energy is everything. Either putting boundaries on family, putting boundaries on friends, putting boundaries on workplaces, whatever it is. Protect your energy, because you don't want this little things that ruffle you fuck you off and make you do something that you really don't want to do. Sit down. Something comes up, sit down. Think about it. We don't have to react on impulse anymore. It's what I love. So, just work it, man. Work it, protect your energy. And if you ain't doing it and you thinking about doing it, get your ass up in the gym, work out, get them endorphins going, get out, touch some nature. Just be one with the earth, man. That's what we here for. We all freaking stardust, and that's what we here, man. We here on this earth to work with the earth. That alcohol ain't, that drugs and stuff is fog the mind. That's
Right.
not what we're here for, man. You know, it's a village, and it takes a village to raise a human. And that's what this community is. It's a beautiful village, man.
Right. Well, Chris, man, I truly appreciate, man, you coming on the show. I'm truly blessed and glad that we finally, you know, got a chance to do this, to talk and everything. And I got nothing but much more respect for you. You know what I'm saying? For you sharing and sharing things that I didn't expect for you to share. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, this ain't just on a recording. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to do the things, you know, checking in with you, making sure everything is straight, because that's what's, you know, one of the keys of the gems of the recovery process is, you know, holding each other accountable, checking in, just making sure. I mean, if it's just a, hey man, what's up, man? You good? Then, you know, hey, whatever. And then that opens up the doors for a conversation. Man, look, I'm struggling today, man. I just need just a little bit of an encouragement or something. Like you said, you bring up, oh, we got music, you got sports, you got X, Y, and Z to talk about. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about the substance or the drugs. It's just more or less like, man, making a conversation with someone like-minded like myself. And that's what it's all about, man. And like I said, you already know, you got my phone number. Not too many people from social media in this sober community have my phone number. And I've had that number since 2003. You know what I'm saying? So it won't change unless T-Mobile just says you can no longer have a number. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, thank you very much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. And I know that my viewers and anybody else that does get a chance to view this, it definitely will be motivation, because like I said, I'm trying to get as many people on that look like us to be able to share their stories, because our stories are definitely a little bit different. And that's where I'm noticing in the community that it is. But like I said, I want to be that vessel to you know, be one of those battleships out there for us, because we need these. We need these platforms. We need the people to be able to relate to us and understand, like, okay, we have problems, we struggle, but now we're trying to better ourselves, not only for our mental, our body, and everybody that's around us. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got, you know, for you, man. But like I said, I will definitely put your information and everything in the description. So like I said, you can, you know, get more followers. Not saying you need them, but just, you know, people that might be curious to want to see your progress as you continue in the motivation and stuff. And like I said, I truly appreciate you coming on. 12 Faces of Sober, you guys can jump on YouTube. I got at least like 45, 50 videos on there, and you guys should be able to, you know, pick out something that will definitely help you. And I know for sure that this video will help you. And like I said, this concludes episode 43 of 12 Faces of Sober Speaks podcast. And let me tell you, Chris did speak, and I do appreciate him sharing. And that's all I got for 12 Faces Sober this time. Until next time, y'all be safe, stay positive, and stay away from alcohol and drugs.
Yes, sir.